on the table, the coalition, Peter Mbah's possible defection, and Peter Obi's relevance in the Southeast, beginning with the coalition. You cannot have a coalition of people who are not only disgruntled, but all of them have had very disturbing relationships with each other in the past, have ideological differences, and they are also nearly all of them angling for the position, who will step down for the other. Secondly, all this talk about coalition we're talking about, apart from Abuja, Lagos, and maybe press releases, what efforts are being made at the levels below the national, even the periphery of the national, to create some kind of understanding, some kind of building backwards that, look, let's go to our party members in the state and tell them it's in our interest to do this. They want to form a coalition at the top and with it rule Nigeria. So that is problem number one. Problem number two, look at the relationship between nearly all of them. Remember that El-Rufai has the challenge of the Muslim ticket. Then Babachir is a diehard Christian. Many people think that Atiku Abubakar should step down. Rotimi Amechi is on the table, and some of us are not entirely sure what he's bringing to that table. David Mark is there also, 3-time Senate president with a lot of clout, among other things. Picture a room where all of them are sitting together to form a government for the Federal Republic of Nigeria. How will the conversation go? What are the policy issues they will bring up? They are likely to discuss positions. Who will be vice president? Who will be? It's not about development, even though the intention on the table, on the pretext, is development. The concern is to remove the APC government. Supposing, for instance, in doing this, they are telling us this is what we want to put on the table once we get rid of the APC. You see, there will be a basis for conversation. But to sound very angry, to tell us that all of us are suffering, we know that, including those who are telling us that we are suffering. What do you intend to do about it? What are the alternative policies? What strategies are in place? The parties in which you are today, are they doing well? Is there internal democracy in those parties? The states where your party is governing today, are they doing well? Are the governors exceptional? When you consider all of this, then that's why I look at the whole coalition talk with a lot of pessimism. For simple reason that whereas it would be wonderful for them to displace the APC and replace APC by some or whatever name they choose to call the party, the question I ask myself is, are they really preparing to do that? There's a difference between engagement and strategic engagement. You want to deal with the rain and a leaking roof, and you bring only buckets. You're not thinking of replacing the roof. They are not being strategic, and the profile of the individuals involved presents a double-barrel negative challenge for all of them. So that's at the level of at the matter of the coalition. They may pull it off, but I really need to see what they will do that will be so strategic as to displace a man who put all of them on the table, gave each of them 24 strokes of the cane, despite everything put in place for him, and became president. Now that he's president, he will also now probably be in the balcony drinking, and then you replace him. They should prepare for a fight if they are serious, and I don't see them being sufficiently strategic to do that. But the effect of what I'm saying is that it should then probably annoy them into designing a fantastic strategy for displacing the APC. But as it is now, I don't see that strategy. Peter Mbah's defection is a possibility. I don't know him. I don't know about him. Is it possible to defect? Yes. Could that make people say, oh, this man is not reliable? Yes, they can say that. But I will also ask, is conversion possible? Ideological conversion possible? Yes. Do defections occur in political parties? Yes. Do some of us like it? No. Does it remove the fact that somebody can do it? It doesn't. If you don't want him to defect, give him reasons not to defect. If somebody is going to defect from your party, why is he doing so? What's the problem with your party? Why is he moving? If you can't prevent him, first of all, admit your own shortcomings that are making people vacate your own address. The third point was the P2B factor. Yes. P2B is very popular in the Southeast, not only in the Southeast, but all over the Federation. The obedient movement is strong and powerful and even growing stronger, but as I keep telling the movement, or whatever it is called, there are no polling booths on the internet. There's no polling booth on Facebook or Instagram. Polling booths are in specific local locations, and they have to be manned by party agents. That's fact number one. Fact number two, is the Labour Party or the Obedience or both of them together, are they building any kind of cohesion such that there's a progressive development of ideological purity, group cohesion, meetings and encounters, leading to the development of structures at the ground level? I'm not seeing it. Finally, on the P2B factor or matter, Obedience have argued convincingly and correctly that, look, we've proven a lot of people wrong. They say that without structure, you cannot win elections in Nigeria. But without structures, see all the votes we got in Lagos, see all the votes we got in all over the country. Fantastic. But I ask you this. There's an Igbo saying that the person who uses a mouse trap sets a mouse trap in order to catch a chimpanzee. The trap will actually catch the chimpanzee. But you know the problem? The hunter will neither come home with his trap nor the meat of a chimpanzee. You got all the votes, no question about that. You won Lagos, I believe you. Did those votes come into your pocket? No. Why? If you know the answer to that question, are you doing anything about it? So it's okay to announce that Peter was... Oh, look, they are just wasting the time they need to prepare for the next election in speech making, in self-adulation, and in what you might call it, conversations that are not going further down. They are wasting the potential and possibilities of that movement. And also, I'd like to comment briefly, if you recall in the last election, look, Labour Party is correct in saying we know they give shishi. But I'll ask that party to make a distinction between mandatory expenses and discretionary expenses. If you send me to go to the market and buy you groundnut, and give me the money for the groundnut, but no money for transport, you say, oh, I'm a volunteer, I love you. I love you, but I may get tired on the way. And the danger is that your enemy may give me a ride, and I'll say, wait, why am I even suffering all of this? They have to recalibrate the conception of I know they give shishi to mean we will not bribe or spend money to subvert the process, but we'll deal with necessary costs for those who will work for us.